Hey friends, I've got some students asking why is it taking so long for me to make progress on guitar? And that can be a little difficult to answer as a teacher, but I should be able to answer that. So it does take time, and it is a lot of complex moves to form these chords and get them to sound good. I mean, like a G could be, or a C or a F. You can get all those muted sounds, and it's very frustrating. Or changing from chord to chord is really slow. That's a big question. So I'm not saying this is the best book, but I do get a lot of, this will answer some of these questions if we were to work through it together. Things like, I teach on the first page, things like going from an E to an A minor, or a G to a D, or a C to an F major 7, or C to A minor. Let's do an E to A minor. See how they're the exact same shape. One thing that will make guitar sound good is if you hold the pick about that tight. It should be very loose, almost to the point of dropping it. When you play, there should be no tension in your hand unless you need some. So listen to the tension. If I grip it tight, it just sounds kind of harsh. I think it almost just calms us down and gets us into this special place when you hold the pick light and strum kind of in an airy fashion. Let the pick kind of go across the strings. Just let it drop. So that's E to A minor. I recommend that. How about a C to A minor? So the ring just does that little dance there. I'll look at my students, they're going, they're picking up everything. And so that's how we might fix that. C to F major 7 keeps the pointer finger anchored. How about a C to a D7? Keeping the pointer finger anchored. If you went from D7 to G, notice how the pinky's almost in place. You just got to drop it right in there. These two fingers have to go from this angled shape, same shape really, on D7 to G. So we're just looking for similarities. How about, check this out, an A to a B7. You could keep the ring finger in place. That's kind of weird. When I think about it, I can't do it. Or think of A as opening up to B7. These fingers just sort of spread out. Or how about B7 to E? Middle finger stays in place. B7, E. Let's see if I do B7 to G7, keeping middle finger in place. I'm sure there's more, but those are a few that I think about. I think, the way you strum, if you're digging in, or let's say, a lot of times students kind of have sort of a, it just doesn't sound like they're thinking about their strum at all. It just sounds really dead. Or like a C, they'll kind of go, I'm like, all right, man, you're giving me a headache. Just play it soft and slow. And light. That lightness. Sweep that tension away. If you're tense, it does sound tense. Yeah. So you got to lighten up a little bit. Just some ideas. So, you're still frustrated with your progress. Are you working on sight reading? The sight reading is not necessarily about learning your favorite songs, but it's more about getting into music and understanding timing and melody and notes. So, and fingering and coordination. So, to me, the hand of a guitar student often seems kind of underdeveloped. Not that I'm not the epitome of a developed human, but my hand can do certain things. My hand can get in there and grab what I have to grab without, and that, to get to that point, I think we have to work on scales and sight reading and riffs. So, your basic C major. If your hand cannot do that, you've got some work to do. C major scale. Or let's do A minor. Those are good scales to do. How about an E minor? G major. It's fun. How about D major? So ask your teacher about scales. Tell them you want some scales to do. How about A minor pentatonic, the classic? Can you hook a power chord into a pentatonic scale? How about something like... Can you play in time? These are things that you can think about and kind of work in that direction. I think you'll sound a little better if you put some timing into your practice, add some scales, some sight reading. You know the book I like. Where is it? Oh yeah, here's my copy in Spanish. Beginning Guitar Book 1 from Progressive Series. This is, I don't see these very often, so that's the only one I've seen. That's the sight reading book I like. Progressive Series, Beginning Guitar Book 1. I find them on eBay pretty cheap, and I might buy like a stack of them if I can. So, make sure you're working on sight reading. Make sure you're connecting your chords with one or two fingers in common between chords. Add some scales, and you might start noticing more progress. But with students, I might have a guy attend every week for a year, and it's just like, wow, we're not getting a lot better. This guy, and he's always embarrassed. I didn't practice much. Oh. And he's always, but he wants to learn a song. He's still into it. It's really the most fun part of his week. He loves it. He's all excited. He's a little nervous because he didn't practice. I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's keep working. I never give up on my students, but eventually that guy starts sounding pretty good, and he starts remembering this stuff. So let's say you don't really practice as much as you know you should. You can still make progress. I've seen it. Some guys take like a long time before they realize, it's a lot of talking, a lot of thinking about it, a lot of planning, kind of getting the overall view, and they're planning to practice. Eventually, they dig in and play, and it might take years, many years, and that's true. So I'm just telling you honestly, one out of maybe 500 students comes in just ready to tear into it and really do it, really focus on what I'm saying and grab other sources of information, works on the sight reading, really pushes it. And those guys can be astonishing. They almost burn out. They're so good so fast. That's really, really rare. Very rare. Maybe 1 out of 1,000. So most of us are just going to kind of work through this at your own speed. But I do notice the students that keep going, keep practicing on their own, keep looking up videos, buy books, practice what I say, suggest songs. They might struggle too. Maybe really bad with timing for a long time. Timing, fingering, coordination, everything. All of a sudden, I hear them play. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Yeah, they just surprise me, and it just it sneaks up. And I notice them getting a little better, but suddenly they get really good. So that's what I see is slow, steady progress, very slow, steady progress, or suddenly a big breakthrough, or the very few that are fanatical about practicing. Sometimes they get burned out, or they just say, yeah, I can't take this. I'm moving on to a different hobby or something. But most of us are just average, normal people that just want to get our fingers on those strings, and it's really precise. It's got to be exact. If you mess up one note, it sounds bad, like this, like a C. It should sound. If one finger is muting a string, you got, or two, F. Those notes. So we got to track all that down. You got to spend all that time figuring out those muted notes. All right, man. Good luck. Let me know if you have any more questions. I hope that wasn't too much jabbering, but those are my observations. So, sight reading, chord yoga. You can get my book if you want. They're $20. Thank you very much. You can pay with Venmo or PayPal, and I'll mail it to you. Just email me, hooverguitar@yahoo.com. And good luck with your practice. Stay with it. It's worth it, even if it takes time, I mean, I have some long-term goals that took like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years to finally reach. And so you got to be kind of really crazy about thinking into the future and just work every day towards your goal. If you give up, you'll never get there. So you just have to stay the course. It's a long-term project. So I'm with you. I'll never give up on you. So keep working, and thank you for letting me tell you a little bit about that.